And a very pleasant good afternoon, baseball fans, and welcome to another edition of Klamath Falls Falcons Baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. A little Sunday afternoon baseball as the Falcons are at home at Kiger Stadium hosting the Phoenix and Rogue Valley Pirates. My name is Josh Eldridge. Glad to be with you today. The Falcons carry a 26-6-1 record coming into play today. The Phoenix Pirates are 5-5. Second time these two teams have met this season. Take you back to July 2nd, a game in which Phoenix edged out the Falcons 10-8, although that was back in Medford. Now the Falcons a chance to return the favor on their home field in front of a home crowd at Kiger Stadium. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll introduce you to the starting lineups for both teams and get ready for first pitch on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see two things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys and I want to see my high school. And those are the two memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Just a couple of minutes away from first pitch between the hometown Klamath Falls Falcons and the visiting Phoenix Pirates. Let's go ahead and introduce you to the starting lineups, and we'll begin with our visitors today, the Phoenix and Rogue Valley Pirates. Leading off for them is their catcher, Connor Cunningham. Batting second is their shortstop, Sam Schultz, followed by Brody Allen, their pitcher, batting third. Alex Charlton is in left field. He bats fourth. Hitting fifth is Andy Alvarez, the first baseman for Phoenix. Hitting sixth is their third baseman, Theo Hodgson, and Brady Dorner is the center fielder, batting seventh. Chaos Smith in right field, batting eighth, and hitting ninth is Weston Nelson for the Phoenix and Rogue Valley Pirates. They'll be going up against Hayden Poore on the mound for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Behind Poore, the starting nine goes like this. Max Price leads off in center field, followed by Connor Shively, the shortstop, batting second. Jacoby Tacchini is the catcher. He hits third, followed by Colin Tacchini, the second baseman, batting fourth. Hitting fifth is P.J. Safford at third base. The designated hitter is Ian Meyer. He hits sixth. Corbin Hamilton bats seventh. He's at first base. The right fielder, Carson Sims, hits eighth. And Chase Barrett bats ninth. For the Falcons, he starts in left field. Like I said, Brody Allen is on the mound for the Phoenix Pirates, who dress in their red tops with white sleeves. Phoenix across the chest in bold white text and white numbers across their backs with white pants today. For the Klamath Falls Falcons, wearing their blue tops with red Falcons written across their chest. They have got red numbers across their back with white outline and white pants today for the Falcons, who enter play on a 7-game winning streak, looking to continue the good luck against the Phoenix Pirates, who got the best of them. Last time these two teams played, a 10-8 win for Phoenix. And it was a comeback attempt by the Falcons that just fell short. They scored 7 of their 8 runs in the final 3 innings, but it just wasn't enough to overcome what was, at one point, a 10-1 deficit after the 4th inning. Falcons looking to get off to a bit better of a start today in front of a home crowd at Kiger Stadium as they get ready for a single 9-inning non-league contest against the Phoenix Pirates. First, though, we're going to take a quick break as we get ready for the playing of our national anthem here at Kiger Stadium ahead of first pitch. But Falcons baseball is just around the corner on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start?
Here, in the classroom.
On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
Well, just about ready for first pitch between the Klamath Falls Falcons and the Phoenix Pirates. Something of a doubleheader today here at Kiger Stadium, as our first game features the Klamath Falls Falcons taking on the aforementioned Phoenix Pirates. And then a nightcap tonight at Kiger Stadium will see the Henley JV team, the D2 team, as they are in action a little bit later on today, too, here at Kiger Stadium. Only one single 9-inning affair for the Klamath Falls Falcons today. The schedule continues tomorrow as they host the Roseburg Dr. Randall's Crowns and then are on the road on Tuesday, taking on the North Medford Mavericks. Rumor has it that there may be a small change in the scheduling for that Tuesday afternoon game, that doubleheader at North Medford. So as soon as we find out, of course, keep your eyes on mybasin.com Falcons to get all the schedules and the standings and the game recaps, as well as our past Falcons broadcast right there on mybasin.com. So Hayden Poore getting the start today for the Klamath Falls Falcons. And as we look at the summer so far for the young right-hander from Henley High School, Poore is making his 8th start of the summer, his 10th appearance overall. He's pitched 36 innings even so far this year, allowing 32 hits, 9 runs, 7 of those earned, 14 walks against 32 strikeouts. Poore carries a 6-1 record for an ERA of 1.36 and is going up against a Phoenix order, which is comprised of players from a handful of different high schools in the Rogue Valley: Cascade Christian, Phoenix, Crater, Ashland, and North Medford. Now, some obviously more than others, as we get ready to take a look at the leadoff hitter for Phoenix, and that is Connor Cunningham. Cunningham gets ready to step in now, batting from the right side as we are just about ready for first pitch today. and it is called strike one. Poor getting ahead of the leadoff batter Cunningham as we are off and rolling today. 93 degrees at first pitch from Kiger Stadium. Warmest it's been for a Falcons first pitch yet this summer. And it's going to continue warming up, about 95 probably by the time things are all said and done for the Falcons single game today, as the 1-1 is fouled off to the side, 1-2. No clouds around here in Klamath Falls. If you look a little bit out to the east, you can see some cloud coverage that way, maybe a little bit of a haze as well in the sky with some fires going on north. But all told, pretty nice day for baseball on a fine Sunday afternoon at historic Kiger Stadium. The 2-2 pitch on the way to Cunningham is going to miss upstairs, and the count runs full. After Cunningham in the order, it's Sam Schiltz. He'll be followed by Brody Allen. Delivery from Poor is a fastball that misses off the outside part of the plate, and a walk delivered to Cunningham is how we get this game started. And it brings up Sam Schiltz. Talked a little bit about the game that these two teams played on July 2nd. That was at Lithian Driveway Field number 9 over there in Medford. Sam Schiltz finished 2 for 5 in that game with an RBI. Phoenix jumped out to an early advantage in that game. By the bottom of the first inning, had led 3-0. Hayden Poor hoping to get off to a better start today against the top of this Phoenix order. Here he gets across strike one to Sam Schiltz. Schiltz, one of those guys from Phoenix High School, playing for this Phoenix team during the summer. Schiltz awaits the delivery from Poor. It's a fastball again, swung on and missed. The count is 0-2. He'll be class of 27 for Phoenix High School, so elevating junior next year. We'll go around the diamond, introduce you to the defense for the Falcons after the 0-2 pitch on the way to Sam Schiltz. Poor misses high and tight. Jacoby Tacchini is receiving the pitches today with P.J. Safford down at third. Connor Shively plays short with Colin Tacchini playing second and Corbin Hamilton at first. Get you the outfield after the 1-2 pitch to Sam Schiltz. Poor comes set. Aggressive leadoff of first for Cunningham. The delivery home is a slider that Schiltz chases outside. Goes down on strikes for the first out in the first inning. As promised, the outfield for the Falcons goes like this. Chase Barrett is in left. Max Price is in center. And Carson Sims is in right. Here's the starting pitcher for Phoenix. Brody Allen getting a chance to swing the bat first before he takes over on the hill. First pitch for him is a fastball right down Main Street. Count goes to 0-1. Allen was 1 for 3 with 3 RBI in the win for Phoenix back on July 2nd. Cunningham about a 5-step lead off of first. Poor's going to go check on him over there, but he dives back safely. After Allen in the order is Alex Charlton. Was an extra base hit for Allen that cleared the bases. I believe it was a double that cleared the bases in that game, allowing Phoenix to eventually hold on to a 2-run victory, though here Hayden Poor gets ahead of the number 3 hitter in the Phoenix order. Count is 0-2. Taking a look at the runner before coming set is Poor, and now the delivery is another fastball upstairs. This time Allen swings underneath it for strike 3, and there's 2 gone in the first. Brings up Alex Charlton for the Phoenix Pirates. Charlton was 2 for 5 the first time these teams met, had 3 RBI and a run scored. Charlton a chance to try to move a runner over after a leadoff walk. Poor has struck out the next 2 batters and gets ahead of Charlton here. The count is 0-1. Charlton also left a mark on the mound when these two teams last met earlier this month. Picked up a save. This pitch to him here is fouled off. Count will be 0-2. He pitched an inning and 2/3, giving up 3 hits, 2 runs. Didn't record any strikeouts, but faced 9 batters good enough to collect the save the first time around. Now he gets the start in left field. Poor takes a look at Cunningham at first before coming set with the 0-2. Delivers a pitch that just misses outside, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Phoenix, their last time out back on Wednesday, lost to the Henley D2 team 5-2. Before that, had picked up a couple of wins, 7-6 and 13-8. This time, Charlton goes down looking at strike number 3, and that will retire the side in the top of the first inning after a leadoff walk. Poor strikes out the next 3 guys he faces, keeping it a scoreless ball game as we go to the bottom of the first on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start?
Here, in the classroom.
On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Be great.
Participate!
And we welcome you back to Klamath Falls Falcons baseball on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. After a scoreless top half of the first inning, the Falcons will get their first crack at Brody Allen on the mound for the Pirates, making his 4th overall appearance, but this is his first start. Previously pitching 2 2/3 innings, allowing 4 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. He's walked 5 and struck out 2, an ERA hovering at 10.5. But only 2 2/3 innings deep into his summer. Hard to judge him based off of that alone. He'll be going up against the Falcons order that's been hot as of late. Max Price leads things off. Connor Shively bats second, and Jacoby Takini hits third. Just how hot are the Falcons as of late? They've won their last 7 games. 10-1, 7-6, 7-4, 19-2. 5-0, 10-0, and 10-0. The Falcons have been swinging the bat well. As here we go, getting a first look at Max Price today, stepping into the right-handed batter's box. Happy birthday to Max Price, turning 16 today. Hoping to make it a successful day at the plate for the birthday boy. Here's the first offering for Brody Allen. Price shows bunt and lays it down the first base side, but it came back up and hit him on the hand, so a foul ball is how we get the at-bat for Max Price started. Talked a little bit about the Pirates' performances last time these two teams played on July 2nd. For Max Price, it was a 1-for-5 day, and he did score a run in that contest. Here's the 0-1 pitch to him. It winds up in the dirt. Count is 1-1. I think that loss against Phoenix last time around, coupled with the loss a couple of days later, or the very next day, rather, as Price sends a deep fly ball foul. Count is 1-2. Seemingly serving as a wake-up call for the Falcons. That loss, and then, like I said, coupled with the one on the third, those were the last 2 losses for the Falcons, both real tight ball games that you look back and say, if 1 or 2 things might have gone differently, you're probably looking at a much longer winning streak, but now refocused, their eyes on the prize of a potential league championship. Although this game is a non-league game, it's important for momentum's sake, especially considering it's the penultimate home game of the season. The 1-2 to Price misses in the dirt. Count moves to 2-2. Count is even to Price as he settles back in, waiting for the delivery from the right-hander from Phoenix. That pitch also misses away. And the count is full to leadoff hitter Price with Connor Shively waiting on deck. And Price able to work a walk to lead off the ball game. And that is how we begin things on offense today for the Falcons. Left-handed bat of Connor Shively gets a chance now with a runner on for the Falcons. Shively hits a fly ball to center field. Moving over is the center fielder Dorner. He makes the grab, and that will be the first out in the inning. So Jacoby Takini gets a chance to swing now with one gone, and a runner aboard at first after the flyout. After Jacoby Takini in the order, it'll be Colin Takini due up next. First pitch on the way, runner on the move. Price is going to get in there safely. The throw winds up into center field, but Price is going to stay put in scoring position. The count is 1-0 to Takini. Timeout called briefly here for Phoenix. Gives us an opportunity to remind you today's broadcast on mybasin.com is brought to you by Gino's Cafe on East Main Street. Serving up their famous breakfast burritos every single morning. Those are served all day long as well, along with their other menu items like burgers, monthly specials, and Italian favorites. You can order online at iloveginos.com, or you can order on DoorDash. All right, after a quick meeting there, Jacoby Takini will settle back in ahead in the count, 1-0 with Max Price standing at second. The Falcons hoping for an early first run of the ball game. Here's the offering. Takini will take a fastball over the outer third, just above the belt, but called a strike to him there. Count is even. Jacoby Takini was 3 for 5 with a couple of RBI back on July 2nd as he takes a pitch upstairs there. Count moves to 2-1. Middle of the order did fine against Phoenix last time around. The bottom of the order that is really where the struggles were for the Falcons. But here Takini sends a line drive to right field. It gets down in front of the right fielder Charlton. He laid out for it, and the ball continues to roll. It's going to score Max Price with ease. Takini's digging for a triple, and he's got it. Jacoby Takini legging out the triple, giving himself an RBI as well, as the Falcons get an early 1-0 lead. And we'll go with Colin Takini. We'll bat now for the Falcons. And for Jacoby, legging out his very first triple of the summer. Right there. He still stands at third. No courtesy runner in for the catcher now that he's that far up. As first pitch on the way to Colin is a slow roller down the third base side. Third baseman is up with it, but he bobbles it, and they're not going to have a play anywhere. So that puts Takini on first after the infield single. And P.J. Safford gets a chance to swing now for the Falcons. P.J. Safford with 2 men on and 1 man out, bottom of the first inning in a 1-0 ball game. First pitch to Safford. First pitch swinging is a foul ball to the right side. Safford got the start as a catcher back on July 2nd. Finished 1 for 2 with a run scored in that game. After him in the order here, it's Ian Meyer. Coach Sean Teeters delivering signs to Safford along with the runners boarded first from the third base coaching box. Joe Takini down the first base line for the Falcons. Craig Connor there, assistant coach there in the dugout. The 0-1 pitch to Safford. It misses wide. Runner is on the move. Cut off by the shortstop Schiltz, but they don't have a play anywhere as a aggressive secondary lead for Takini at third allowed Colin Takini to safely get into second, and now there are 2 men on in scoring position and a 1-1 count at the plate to P.J. Safford. He's come up with some clutch hits the last few games for the Falcons. Another line drive the opposite way. Count moves to 1-2 on the season for Safford. Seen the batting average climb up to .352 as of late and has added a ton of RBI, 32 on the season. Set here is Safford, set for the pitch is Safford. The 1-2 is in the dirt, gets away from the catcher Cunningham. Jacoby Takini breaks for the plate and scores. And Colin Takini also advancing to third on the wild pitch. And the Falcons now lead 2-0. Job becomes a bit easier for Safford here. A ground ball in the infield, especially if it gets poked back up the middle. Likely going to score Colin from third as well. Here's the 2-2. That one's in the dirt, and Cunningham nearly went with it, but was able to pick it up out of the dirt. And count is now full to P.J. Safford. Wind blowing lightly out to straightaway center field. See the American flag waving straight away there as the 3-2 pitch is on the way to Safford. He hits a ground ball back up the middle. It's going to score Takini, and the throw on to first is in time. But you'll take that out for the run every time it happens. The score now is 3-0 Falcons with 2 away in the inning, and Ian Meyer bats with the bases empty. Three runs home in the opening inning for the Falcons. Ian Meyer a chance to try and get a new rally started. The designated hitter, hitting, of course, for the pitcher, Hayden Poor. First pitch to Meyer misses, and the count moves to 1-0. Meyer was 0 for 2 back on July 2nd, last time these two teams played on the season. Meyer's hitting .310. Stands tall there in the right-handed batter's box. Keeps his hands back as the pitch will miss outside. Count moves to 2-0 to Ian Meyer. Meyer looking to get on base here. Does it at a 43% clip. Here's the pitch. It's swung on and missed. And count now is 2-1 as that elevated fastball looked good to Meyer, but wound up chasing it. Corbin Hamilton is on deck for the Falcons. And the pitch from Brody Allen, now able to work from the windup with no runners on, but Meyer's going to change that with a base hit into left field. And he gets by the left fielder, Smith, unable to come up with it cleanly. Meyer's going to advance to second. So a hit and an error will allow Meyer to get into scoring position, and the rally continues for the Falcons. They'll look for more with Corbin Hamilton stepping in now. Hamilton was 3 for 5 with 3 singles the last time these teams played. Didn't come up with any RBI or any runs scored, but now a base hit could make an impact with Meyer standing out there in scoring position. Quick conference between Cunningham and Allen was very brief. And now the catcher settles back behind home. And Allen comes set, ready to deliver the first pitch to Corbin Hamilton. That one finds the upper part of the zone. The count moves to 0-1. Phoenix looking for a good start out of Allen today. They don't have much options out there when it comes to pitching later on in the game, as the 0-1 is lifted into right field. Might have to continue this thought in a moment unless someone gets to this ball, but the right fielder Charlton is unable to run all the way in to make the catch. That's going to score Meyer. Corbin Hamilton, who's had his foot on the gas the whole way around, winds up at third on a lazy fly ball into right field. It winds up as the second triple of the inning and making it a 4-0 ball game. An RBI there for Corb as Meyer, like I said, came in. And now here's Carson Sims, the number 8 hitter in the order. Like I was saying about Phoenix, though, they've only got 9 guys available today. No reserves in the first base dugout. Going to have to be creative if Allen continues to struggle here in the first inning. Already 4 runs home, and the first pitch to Sims is going to miss wide. Count moves to 1-0. Sims was 3 for 3 when these teams last met on July 2nd. But, again, same situation with Corbin, as there was no runs scored for him around the bases, no RBIs for him either. But here, a sharp grounder into left. He's going to collect an RBI on this one. Another important hit in the bottom of the first inning makes it 5-0 Falcons. And they have seriously come out for revenge here in the first inning against a team that beat them a few short weeks ago. They've built out a 5-run lead in the first inning. Brings up Chase Barrett. Barrett getting the start in left field today for the Falcons. Batting 9th, he's looking to keep the train moving back up to Price at the top, who waits on deck. First pitch swinging for Barrett comes up empty. and the count is 0-1. Started out with a walk to Max Price. Shively flew out, but then a triple from Jacoby Tacchini, followed by a single from Colin Tacchini. Ground out from Safford, which scored a run, and then a single and a triple. One more single. The Falcons have been swinging the bat well this inning. Sims is on the move, on the pitch. It's a swinging strike, but the throw down isn't going to get Carson. And he winds up in scoring position at second base in an 0-2 count at the plate to Chase Barrett. Choking up a little bit on the bat. Barrett chokes up quite a bit more than most guys I've seen, really trying to shorten up the swing, and it works out there as he gets a piece of the 0-2 pitch. The interesting two-strike approach. Every batter approaches it differently, whether you choke up a bunch or just widen out the stance a little bit. Barrett seems to shorten up the stance and choke up on the bat. Here he reaches for one, pops it in the air to right field, and it gets down for another base hit. And again, the right fielder Charlton overran it, but gets down and will score Sims from second. Just another single in the inning for the Falcons, their sixth, and they lead 6-0 after the RBI there from Chase. He winds up at first, and we're back to the top of the order for Max Price. Price, as I stated, walked to start the inning and came around to score after the RBI triple from Jacoby Tacchini. Here's the pitch. It misses away. A big lead off of first by Chase Barrett. They thought about trying to backpick him there, but eventually just eyeing him back to first. The second baseman, Nelson, getting ready to protect if there's a steal on. As that time Price takes a strike knee high on the outer third. The count is even. Price 1-1. On the season, batting .362 for the Falcons. Here's the pitch from Allen. A sharp fly ball into left field. That is going to be over the head of the left fielder. No, he came away with that. Leaping Smith brings in the catch at the warning track, stealing an extra base hit from Max Price, and in doing so, keeping it a 6-0 ball game after one inning of play. We go to the top of the second with the Falcons in front on 104.3 and 960 Sports.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
At mybasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
All right, getting ready for the top of the second inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. After a productive bottom of the first half, the Falcons lead 6-0 here in the top of the second. Couple of defensive changes for the Falcons here as Carson Sims, formerly in right field, has moved over to center. Carson Pimley has entered the ball game. He patrols right field now for the Falcons. The first pitch on the way to Andy Alvarez is going to miss low. Count is 1-0 to Alvarez. He was 1 for 3 with 2 RBI when these two teams previously met 12 days ago. So another pitch misses away. The count is 2-0 to Alvarez. After him in the order, the third baseman, Theo Hogden, and Brady Dorner bats third this inning. So 5, 6, and 7. The count, 2 balls and a strike after the 2-0 pitch was fouled away by Alvarez. Pirates got a leadoff base runner in the first, but Hayden Poor followed it with 3 straight strikeouts as the 2-1 misses inside, 3-1. Poor has been an overpowering arm for many teams this season. Like I said, this is his 8th appearance, or pardon me, his 8th start, his 10th overall appearance of the summer. As the 3-1 misses upstairs, it'll be a leadoff walk to Andy Alvarez. Theo Hodgden getting ready to step in now, the third baseman, again batting after a leadoff walk. But speaking, just wanted to finish my thought on Hayden Poor, who his 32, now 35 strikeouts on the summer. Came in at 32 and has already added 3 this game. As the first pitch is a check swing, a pop fly foul ball down the first base side, out of play. Count moves to 0-1 to Hodgden. Has the 3rd most strikeouts on the team, only trailing Colin Tacchini and P.J. Safford. Coming into the game, he's already surpassed Safford in that total, and Colin Tacchini at 39. So we'll keep track of that for Poor as he looks to rack up those Ks today in this one. As the 0-1 pitch misses down and away, count is even now at a ball and a strike. And as Jacoby Tacchini goes out and has a quick chat with Hayden Poor, want to remind you that today's broadcast on mybasin.com is brought to you in part by the Pacific Power Foundation, who in 2024 donated over $70,000 to organizations like the Klamath County School District, the Ross Ragland Theater, and the Oregon Tech Foundation. Big thanks to Pacific Power for also coming aboard for this season of Falcons baseball. Count is 1-1 to Hodgden as he settles back in. Right-hander Poor delivers the pitch. It is called a strike. Middle fastball. And the count is 1-2 with Brady Dorner set to bat next for the Pirates. Poor delivers the pitch. Another slider. Misses low and away. Count is 2-2 strikes to Hodgden. Last time these two teams met, Hodgden was without a hit, but he did score a run, coming in as a courtesy runner on multiple occasions in that game. As a fly ball over the press box here at Kiger Stadium will keep the count 2-2. Big wooden grandstand here at Kiger Stadium. Still standing after what now is nearly 80 years since this stadium was built, as that pitch misses low, 3-2. Locals know, built in 1948 and hosting a plethora of different events over the past nearly 80 years. American Legion World Series, Babe Ruth World Series, as that pitch misses in, had to have been in, against Hodgden. Back-to-back walks to start the second inning, put 2 men on and nobody out for Brady Dorner. It's a rare occasion that you get to walk the halls underneath the grandstand here at Kiger Stadium. They're typically closed off, but made my way through there a couple times, and you get to see the history of all of those things. Like I said, the Legion World Series, the Babe Ruth World Series. I believe in 1968, 1970 is when those events were hosted here at Kiger Stadium. As that pitch misses upstairs, 1-0 to Brady Dorner. In recent memory, back in 2019, Kiger Stadium was the host of the AAA American Legion State Tournament. As now Dorner looks to bunt in the 1-0. That pitch misses outside, 2-0. In 2022, Kiger Stadium was the host of the Northwest Regional for Babe Ruth baseball. Had teams from Wyoming and Seattle and Northern California, Nevada, all here at Kiger Stadium, as that pitch comes in and hits Dorner. And it will load the bases for Chaos Smith. Poor getting himself into a little bit of trouble here in the top of the second inning. Alvarez moves to third, Hodgden to second, and now Dorner there aboard at first. Smith getting the start in right field today. Wasn't in the order last time these two teams played. Actually started his academic year last year here in the Klamath Basin at Klamath Union High School. But moving over to the Rogue Valley with his family, he finds himself on the opposing side here against the Klamath Falls Falcons, as a pitch misses low out of the hands of Hayden Poore. This is going to get Craig Connor out of the dugout. It looks like the Falcons may be making a change here in the top of the second inning as Carson Pimley comes in from right field. Looks like that will be the case. As we step aside, Pimley will likely inherit a bases-loaded situation with nobody out with his team and a 6-run cushion. Back in just a moment on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Time to reclaim your health and your autonomy. At Heartfelt OBGYN, they focus on you. Their evidence-based approach to care means fewer office visits and a targeted treatment plan to directly address your specific needs. They believe in solutions for their patients, not the industry's profit margin. The providers at Heartfelt OBGYN are committed to serving the community and giving back to the basin. Find them at heartfeltobgyn.com. Heartfelt, because you deserve to be in control of your body and your informed choices.
At Eisler Group, they are confident that their tax and accounting professionals are experienced and trained like no one else. From individual, corporate, partnership, estate, trust, Eisler Group stands ready to help you with all of your financial, tax, and accounting needs. They have been in Klamath Falls for nearly 60 years, raising their families here and being part of the community. The Eisler Group can be found at eislerkf.com. That's ISLERKF.com. eislerkf.com.
New pitcher is, as I thought, Carson Pimley into the game now for the Klamath Falls Falcons. He comes in from right field. Replacing him in right field is the new entrant to the ballgame, Hunter Glidden. So with those changes out of the way, it'll be a 1-0 count to Chaos Smith with the bases loaded that Pimley inherits here. A less than desirable situation for Carson as he makes his 5th appearance of the summer. Carries an ERA right around 13, although his last appearance against these Phoenix Pirates was very solid. Actually, it's not a probability. His last time out was his best start of the summer thus far, as he will look to replicate that appearance here against Phoenix today. Chaos Smith set to swing away with the bases loaded here for Phoenix. First offering from Pimley. So he gets the sign in from Tacchini. The first pitch is a firm fastball called a strike, and the count is 0-1. The 1-1, on the way, is Pimley misses outside there. The count moves to 2-1 now to Smith, with Weston Nelson waiting on deck. Pimley looks in, and the pitch. This is low. Count moves to 3-1. Alvarez is at third. He walked. Hodgson is at second. He walked. And Dorner is at first. He was hit by a pitch. And now the Falcons in danger of walking in a run here with Chaos Smith at the plate. Pitch from Pimley misses low. And there it is. Walking in a run here in the top of the second inning, making the score 6-1. Weston Nelson. Trying to figure out if that was ball 4. It most certainly was ball 4. The at-bat started with a 1-0 count. No. This is wrong. They've got it wrong down there. Yeah, they've got it wrong down there on the mound. Yeah, we're trying to figure it out down there. Seems as though everybody but the home plate umpire thinks that this was ball 4. Here we go. Now we're trying to figure it out with the umpiring crew. I think the home plate umpire just missed that at-bat started with a 1-0 count. To be fair, I missed that it started with a 1-0 count too, so it's an easy mistake. But now, just got to get it straightened out, it seems. But Alvarez scored. Let's see. So Smith is aboard at first. Dorner is aboard at second. Hodgson at third, and 1 run home is Alvarez. All via the free pass. And so now Weston Nelson will get a chance to swing here, the number 9 hitter in the order. Looks like it's all evened out, and we are ready for baseball as Weston Nelson bats from the right side against Carson Pimley. Here's the pitch. That is a knee-high fastball. Pimley using it to get ahead here, 0-1. Connor Cunningham is on deck for Phoenix. Pimley kicks and delivers the 0-1. Waved at and missed. Count moves to 0-2. Nelson, another one of those guys who didn't get a chance to swing the bat last time around against Klamath Falls back on July 2nd. His first at-bat here will move to 1-2 against Carson Pimley. And it's been all walks and hit batsmen to allow Phoenix to load the bases and score a run. They're still looking for their first base hit of the ball game. Here's the 1-2. That one is fouled straight back. And the count remains. Nelson back in. Batting glove on the low hand. No batting glove on his back right hand. The 1-2 pitch misses wide. Count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nelson is a class of 29 for Cascade Christian. He's a rising freshman. Just wrapping up his 8th grade year. Here's the 2-2. That one bounces and Pimley falls behind 3-2. Takini made the stop. The ball didn't get by him. The runner at third made a break for it, but Hogden slid back safely. Going to say the third base runner, Hogden, slid in under the tag. Throw beat him there for sure. A lot of people think the tag might have beat him as well, but Hogden is ruled safe over there at third. The count is 3 balls and 2 strikes to Weston Nelson as Pimley still looking for that first out, delivers the 3-2, and it is flared foul down the first base side behind the first base dugout. And the count remains full, 3-2. Modest lead off of first for Smith, and can't go anywhere with the bases loaded. So that pitch is going to be a fastball. Inner third, rung up Nelson. That's a big first out to get here in the top of the 2nd inning. Now we go back to the top for Connor Cunningham. He led off the ball game after earning a walk in the first, but was left stranded after Hayden Poor at the time struck out 3 straight batters. Now it's up to Pimley to try to work out of a jam that Poor created by walking the first, 3 of the first 4 batters this inning as Pimley falls behind here 1-0 to Connor Cunningham. Talked a little bit about what Cunningham did against Klamath Falls last time these two teams played, as the 1-0 is in the zone, 1-1. But on the season, Cunningham is hitting right around 200 as that pitch is called a strike. Count is 1-2. Nice firm fastball on the inside corner from Pimley. Uses it to get ahead of the Pirates catcher. Sam Schiltz is on deck for the Pirates. Delivery from Pimley. Ground ball to short. Shively's going to backhand it. Throw on to second for 1, and they don't have a chance at a double play with Cunningham racing down the first base line. They get the runner out at second, so there will be 2 away with runners at the corners and a run coming in to score on that last play. The score is now 6-2 as Hodgson touched home. Dorner advanced to third. Smith was out at second, and Cunningham reaching there on the fielder's choice. And so here is Sam Schiltz, who's 0 for 1 in the ball game. He struck out in the top of the first. The pitch on the way, missed high and away. Count is 1-0. After Schiltz in the order is Brody Allen. Ready to go now is Pimley. Takes a look at the runner at first as he delivers in a changeup for a strike. 1-1. Had Schiltz a little bit out in front of that one. Count is even. Schiltz is the team's leading hitter for Phoenix. He bats .414 on the summer. Here's the delivery from Pimley. That one just misses outside. Count is 2-1. Talked a little bit about Pimley's outing last time against these Phoenix Pirates. He pitched 4 innings of shutout baseball to give the Falcons a fighting chance in that game back at Lithian Driveway Fields as that pitch is fouled off. 4 innings of shutout baseball allowed the Falcons to attempt the comeback in the last 3 innings of that ball game, although, like we know, they fell short just by a couple of runs in the top of the 9th. But Pimley's quality effort gave him a chance to believe a little bit. Hoping for more here. The 2-2 home is fouled off, and the count will remain 2-2 to Sam Schultz. Runner leading off of first. Cunningham about 4 steps. Not much of anything to speak of over at third for Dorner as Pimley delivers the 2-2 pitch home, gets a swing and a miss, and finally the Falcons escape the top of the second inning after allowing 2 runs without giving up a base hit. A couple of runs came in off the walk, and Falcons maintain a 4-run advantage going to the bottom of the second on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
We drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon, soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
And we are back ready to go for the bottom of the second inning in a 6-2 ball game on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. My name is Josh Eldridge. Thank you so much for joining me today, wherever you might be in Oregon or abroad. Thank you for finding our broadcast and spending your Sunday afternoon with me here on mybasin.com. Phoenix scoring 2 runs in the top half of the second. Falcons looking for a response here. They'll start off with Connor Shively. Shively sends a line drive straight to second base, in and out of the glove of Nelson, but he can't recover in time. Nearly recovered to throw Shively out at first, but Connor beating it out, and it brings up Jacoby Takini. Mark that a hit for Shively, getting aboard there. An aggressive lead off of first, and he's on the move. The throw down has no chance, winds up in center field, but Shively's going to stay put there in scoring position. As the Falcons, like I said, looking to regain those 2 runs they gave up in the top half of the inning. That pitch was called a ball to Jacoby Takini, and the Falcons catcher gets ahead 1-0. Flash you back to the first inning when Jacoby picked up his first triple of the summer and added an RBI in what was a 6-run first inning for the Falcons. Here he takes another pitch upstairs. Count moves to 2-0. After Jacoby in the order, it's Colin Takini. Delivery on the way is called a strike. Count moves to 2-1. A fastball on the outside. It's still Brody Allen out there working for Phoenix again, despite giving up 6 runs in the first. Phoenix doesn't have a ton of options when it comes to reserve pitchers today. So you go into it thinking guys are probably going to have a little bit or a lot of bit of a longer leash for the Pirates today. It's going to be up to their bats to try to hang with the Falcons. But scored 10 runs against the Falcons in their previous meeting, so they've got to feel somewhat confident coming into play today. Here's the 2-2 against Takini. It's a bouncer sent out towards short. Schultz is up with it. The throw on to first is in time, but Shively advancing to third on the ground out. So one gone, and it brings up Colin Takini. Takini singled and scored back in the first inning. A chance at an early RBI opportunity for him. The runner standing at third. Colin Takini this season batting .348 for the Falcons as the corner infielders come in for Phoenix, and that pitch misses well high. The count is 1-0. Colin's 34 RBI are also second most on the team. Here's the 1-0 to Colin. He checks his swing, but that fastball was letter high over the middle of the plate, and it evens the count at 1. Colin with 11 extra base hits on the summer as well. He's had a good campaign this year for the Falcons. The 1-1 is waved at and missed. That was an elevated fastball that probably was out of the zone, but Takini offered up at it, and the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. P.J. Safford is on deck for the Falcons. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Takini down on strikes for the second out in the second inning. And this will bring up the aforementioned P.J. Safford. Grounded out his first time up, but was a productive ground out, adding an RBI. He was the second casualty in the first inning. Now he's going to need a base hit, or at least find a way to get on base in some variety to try and drive that run home. As that pitch misses high and away to him. The count is 1-0 to P.J. .352 hitter this season. 33 RBI for him. He ranks third on the team in that metric. Here's the 1-0. Misses in the dirt. Count moves to 2-0 to Safford with Ian Meyer waiting on deck. Shively reached after the leadoff single. He stole second and advanced to third on the ground out. Now still there. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Safford. That'll be called a strike, a little bit off the outside part of the plate, but ruled a strike against Safford there. Count moves to 2-1. Looking in is Allen, gets the sign from Cunningham behind the dish. Cunningham gives the signal. Safford offers up at the pitch that's lifted in the air behind second base and gets down behind the second baseman, and an RBI single for P.J. Safford makes it a 7-2 ball game. Second run batted into the day for Safford as well. And it brings up Ian Meyer. Not a particularly hard hit ball, but was just enough to sneak behind Nelson, the second baseman, and drop down in front of the center fielder, Dorner. Sometimes that's all you need to secure yourself an RBI, put your team back up by 5. First pitch swinging by Ian Meyer, fouls it off. The count is 0-1. Looked like a hit and run was on with Safford taken off to second. But see if it remains on now in an 0-1 count for Meyer. He singled and scored back in the first inning. Corbin Hamilton waits on deck for the Falcons. Allen takes a look over there at Safford. Doesn't have a uniquely aggressive lead, but they saw the hit and run off last time. After the check on first, Allen delivers the 0-1 pitch. On the move again is Safford. This time Meyer takes the pitch. The throw down from the catcher is going to short hop the second base. And Schultz was unable to field it cleanly, allowing Safford to get in there and remain in scoring position. Count is 1-1 to Meyer with Safford standing out there at second. Ian on the season bats .310 for the Falcons, 19 RBI for him. Hits one into the gap, right center field, down for a base hit, likely extra bases. Safford is going to score. Meyer is going to slide in safely for a 2-out double. And the Falcons lead 8-2. Nice piece of hitting there for Ian, going the opposite way, sending it into the gap and winding up at second base. He's 2 for 2 on the day now. Here's Corbin Hamilton. Hamilton 1 for 1 in the contest. He tripled and knocked in a run back in the first inning. He would later score on the single from Carson Sims. Right-handed batter Hamilton awaits the first offering, lifts one into the air, into left field. In as the left fielder Charlton makes the catch in foul territory, and that will end the inning. But the Falcons score 2 on 3 base hits in the inning, and they lead 8-2. Going to the top half of the third next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
First pitch out of the hand of Carson Pimley is swung on and fouled back. The count is 0-1 to Brody Allen. He'll be followed by Alex Charlton and Andy Alvarez for the Phoenix Pirates. Ground ball sent to the left side of the infield. Takes a hop in the infield and gets over the head of Safford and into left. And a leadoff single for the Phoenix Pirates. They look to answer with a couple of runs, down 6 runs here in the top of the third. Charlton getting ready to step in now. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in the first inning. Set is Pimley, and the delivery is ripped foul the opposite way. Count moves to 0-1. Again, after Charlton in the order, it's Andy Alvarez for the Phoenix Pirates. Talked about Carson Pimley. Now into the second inning of relief for him. We can close the book on Hayden Poor, who pitched the opening inning, giving up no hits, but allowing 2 runs to come across. Both of them earned as he walked 3 batters and hit 1. Pimley came in and was able to stop the bleeding in that second inning. But after allowing a leadoff single here, Phoenix looking for more. Count is a ball and a strike right now to Charlton. The delivery from Pimley is offered up at and missed. Count moves to 1-2. If there's any silver lining for the Falcons, they were able to get those 2 runs back in the bottom half of the third. And so they remain leading by 6, the advantage that they had built themselves after the first inning. All right, Pimley kicks and fires. Here's a ground ball towards second. The hit and run is on, and it took Takini away from his normal defensive positioning and allows Allen to advance all the way to third as Phoenix executes the hit and run to perfection, now putting runners at the corners with nobody out. And here's Andy Alvarez now. Alvarez walked and scored to lead off that second inning in which the Pirates scored both of their runs. Alvarez swinging here with 2 men on and nobody out. Move over to first, and they got the runner at first, Charlton. He was out leaning to second and that's a big out to get. Keeps the lead runner at third, but now there's one gone. Theo Hodgden, is waiting on deck for the Pirates. As Pimley misses in with the fastball. Count is 1-0. Runner at third is Brody Allen. He reached on the leadoff single and advanced there after the hit and run. The 1-0 pitch is called a strike, a fastball on the outer third. Count evens up at 1. Phoenix 5-5 on the summer, winners of 3 of their last 4 games. That pitch misses low. The count is 2-1 to Andy Alvarez. Alvarez on the summer is hitting .400 for the Phoenix Pirates. He's the team's third leading hitter. The 2-1 pitch to him misses in the dirt. Count moves to 3 balls and a strike now to Alvarez. Temperature climbing up to 95. This is about as warm as it should get today here at Kiger Stadium. But still definitely hot. It's the heatest or the warmest day of the season so far for the Falcons. And, well, it's not going to get any cooler the rest of the way. There's only 6 games left on the schedule, and I'm pretty sure everyone is going to be played right around 90 degrees or higher. Take a look at Tuesday, which is going to be played in Medford. We're looking at potentially triple digits for a doubleheader against the North Medford Mavericks. Here's a high chopper over to third. P.J. Safford moves over to make the play and throw out Alvarez at first. But in the meantime, Brody Allen comes in to score, making the score 8-3. Still in favor of the Falcons, and the bases are empty with 2 gone in the third inning. Hodgden is without an at-bat today. He walked back in the second inning, was the second of 2 runs to come in and score in that frame. He's looking to get something of a rally started here against Carson Pimley. The delivery is actually going to wind up hitting him on the front arm, and it brings up Brady Dorner. All right, Dorner is without an at-bat today as well. He was hit by a pitch back in the second inning. He would eventually be left stranded at third base, though, in that frame. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a knee-high fastball called a strike. Count moves now to 0-1. Pimley kicks and fires. That one is swung on and missed. The count moves to 0-2. To Dorner. Already 1 run home this inning for the Pirates. Pimley looking to stop right there. In an 8-3 ball game, Pimley comes set with an 0-2 count. And delivers the pitch. That one is going to miss outside. Kick off the glove of Jacoby for just a moment, but he gets back up and collects in time to keep the runner there at first. That's Hodgden at first. He's there after being hit by a pitch himself earlier this inning. The 1-2 from Pimley again is looked at for ball 2. Slider just misses off the outside, and the count runs even. Dorner, class of 27 for Cascade Christian High School, has the bat resting on his shoulder for the 2-2 pitch, and he gets a piece of it. Count will remain 2-2. Cascade Christian, a 3A school, made it all the way to the state championship game this year in the prep season. Lost in the state championship to Blanchett Catholic 4-3. Here's the 2-2 pitch again. And that time, thought it was ball 4, did the hitter Dorner, but it's actually just ball 3. Seemed to have had some confusion on the count on a couple of occasions today, but that's neither here nor there. And the count is full now to Brady Dorner. Pimley delivers. Fouled again. A good battle brewing at the plate between Dorner and Pimley, with Chaos Smith on deck for the Phoenix Pirates. It's a 3-2 count with a runner on first in the top of the third inning. The Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Phoenix Pirates 8-3. Pimley agrees on the sign from Takini and delivers. Runner on the move in a 3-2 count, but the pitch home swung on and missed. Pimley will leave him stranded. And even though the Pirates score a run in this inning, they trail by 5 as we go to the bottom of the third next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars. There are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
Bottom of the third inning here on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com. An 8-3 ball game in which the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Phoenix Pirates. Due up this half for the Falcons is Carson Sims, Chase Barrett, and Max Price. That's 8, 9, and 1 against Brody Allen out there for the Phoenix Pirates. Falcons surrendered a single run in the top half of this inning. Sims sends a sharp grounder to short. Backhanded by Schultz over there at short, but the throw is not going to beat Sims. In fact, it got by the first baseman, but Sims had probably legged that out anyway, so it'll be a base hit for Carson. And it'll bring up Chase Barrett. So Carson Sims now 2 for 2 today. Had an RBI and a run scored his first time around as well. No RBI this time, but a potential to try to add a run as Chase Barrett knocked in a run his last time around, had a single in the first inning. He would eventually be left stranded on base, but a first inning in which the Falcons scored 6 of their 8 runs. Added 2 more in the second, and looking for more here in the third. Pitch on the way from Allen. It's hit in the air, in the infield, right side of the infield. The second baseman, Nelson, will call everybody off, and he will make the catch for the first out. So this will bring up Max Price for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Price, birthday boy for Klamath Falls today, is 0 for 1. He did walk and score in the first inning, but he also flew out to end that first inning as the Falcons batted 10 guys to score their 6 runs. Move over to first to check on Sims. Gets by the first baseman and kicks down the foul line. Sims is going to round second and head for third. The throw from the shallow right field is not going to be anywhere close as Sims is able to get all the way around to third on the error. A costly error for Phoenix. Changes the complexion of not only this bat, but the whole inning. Corners come in against Max Price as that pitch misses upstairs to him. The count is 1-0. That's the third error that the Pirates have committed today. 1 in each inning. The 1-0 pitch to Max is a line drive to left field. It is caught by Charlton, the left fielder. Sims is tagging, and the throw in brings the catcher up the first base line. And so Sims will score in a sacrifice fly with an RBI for Max Price. Makes it a 9-3 ball game. Shively with the bases empty and 2 gone now. He's 1 for 2 today. Shively flew out in the first, but singled and scored in the second, batting .416 on the season for the Falcons. The left-handed hitter will look at ball 1 as it misses below the knees and probably a touch outside as well. 1-0 the count to Shively. After Shively in the order for the Falcons, it's Jacoby Takini, all unable to work out of the windup now with the bases empty. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one sails away. Count moves to 2-0. Last home game of the season coming up tomorrow for the Falcons as they'll play the Roseburg Dr. Randall's Crowns. As the 2-0 pitch gets in there, the count is 2-1. It is Fan Appreciation Day tomorrow night at Kiger Stadium. 5 o'clock first pitch in a single game against Roseburg. The 2-1 to Shively. Line drive, right field, base hit. And Smith is not going to take the correct angle on it, allowing Shively to advance up to second. On what was otherwise a routine base hit, Shively's able to sneak in there. And it brings up Jacoby Takini. So a 2-out double there for Shively makes him 2 for 3 on the day, and here is Jacoby Takini. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI triple back in the first inning. He also grounded out in the second. Set on the mound is Allen, and the delivery from Takini, or to Takini rather, is going to be popped over towards the bathrooms and out of play. The count is 0-1. After the game tomorrow, the final home game of the summer for the Klamath Falls Falcons, they do finish out the season with back-to-back road double headers. So the 0-1 is ripped to left. I shouldn't say back-to-back. There is some time in there, although on the schedule they are just lined up close to each other. As the 0-2 count to Takini. They'll play Tuesday in Medford. They'll play Friday at Central Point, and that doubleheader against the Comets will close out the regular season. Still an outside shot for the Falcons to take over that first-place spot in the league that right now is held down by Central Point. The 0-2 to Takini is sent into the right center field gap. That'll be extra bases for Jacoby, and it will score Connor Shively. Takini digging for 2. He's in there. And an RBI double for Jacoby Takini makes it a 10-3 ball game. Racking up those extra base hits today to go along with that triple. Takini's now just a home run and a single away from the cycle. And coming in to run for him is Ryan Glidden is out there on the base paths to run for Jacoby. And Colin is now on the plate. We've got time on the field. I think there was a baseball that made its way into play from the fan area. See quite a few of the guys from the Henley baseball team, the D2 team, lining the left side of the field. They get ready for a game here at Kiger Stadium after the conclusion of ours later on this afternoon. First pitch to Colin Takini, called a strike. The count is 0-1 to Colin, who's 1 for 2 today. He singled in the first and struck out in the second. That's here with Ryan Glidden in scoring position. Takini sends a ground ball over to short. It eats Schultz up for a moment, but he recovers in time to throw Colin out at first. A nice play by Sam Schultz to retire the side, but not before the Falcons score 2 runs in the inning. And they lead 10-3 as we go to the fourth on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been waiting forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coltwell Banker, where home begins.
come on. There we go. Josh Eldridge back with you on 104.3 and 960 Sports and on mybasin.com as Carson Pimley finishes up his warm-up tosses out there. His Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Phoenix Pirates by a score of 10-3. For the Klamath Falls Falcons so far in the ball game, they've scored their 10 runs on 11 hits. They have yet to commit an error, and they have left 3 runners on base. For Phoenix today, their 3 runs come on 2 hits. They've committed 3 errors, and they have left 4 runners on base in the contest. Due up this half for Phoenix is going to be Chaos Smith, Weston Nelson, and Connor Cunningham. And on the very first pitch, the first batter of the inning, Smith is hit. So bring up Weston Nelson for the Phoenix Pirates. As Nelson is 0 for 1 today. He struck out back in the first inning. Pardon me, in the second inning, Nelson struck out. Now batting with a runner on. Corners in, protecting bunt, and that's exactly what Nelson is going to do. Pimley is up with it, throws on to first, but a runner does advance on the play. 1 gone. Smith in scoring position and Nelson on the sacrifice. And that brings up Connor Cunningham. The top of this Phoenix order is where things can get dangerous for these Phoenix Pirates. Connor Cunningham batting right around 200 for the Pirates this summer. Lead at second for Smith, takes an extra half step back as Pimley checks on him, but a pitch that took up some dirt with it is called a strike against Connor Cunningham. And Pimley is able to use it to get ahead. Safford still in, protecting the bunt down at third. Hamilton playing straight away down at first as that pitch is fouled back. Count moves to 0-2 against Connor Cunningham. After him in the order, it's Sam Schiltz for the Phoenix Pirates. Smith standing at second after he was hit by a pitch on the very first pitch of this inning. Moved over on the sacrifice bunt from Weston Nelson. Here's the pitch on the way from Pimley. The 0-2 is looked at for ball 1. Just missed off the outside. Probably a touch low as well to Cunningham, who is 0 for 1 in the ball game. He walked in the first and reached on a fielder's choice in the second. Pimley delivers the 1-2. It is going to just miss outside. Count is now 2-2 to Cunningham. Pimley set. Big lead off a second now for Smith. Pimley not paying him any mind. The 2-2 home is in the dirt, and the count is 3-2. Pimley trying to work hard, getting out of this fourth inning. Remember, he came in relief back in the second. Here's the 3-2. Hit in the air, left field, drifting out of play. And it will settle down down the patio side of left field. A couple of Falcons fans hanging out down there as they typically do, enjoying the warm sunshine. Looks like a couple of Phoenix fans are enjoying the right side patio as well. And probably my favorite seat in the house is down there on the patio at Kiger Stadium. The 3-2 is, again, hitting the air to left field, but this one looks playable for Barrett. And he does make the catch for the second out in the fourth inning. Now Sam Schiltz will step in now for the Pirates. Schiltz is the team's leading hitter at .414, but he's gone down on strikes twice today. Coming into the game, he had only gone down on strikes 4 times total. He's added 2 more now today. Carson Pimley looks in against Schiltz. This time checks the runner before coming set and delivers the pitch. Just misses outside, and the count moves to 1-0. After Schiltz in the order, it's Brody Allen. Second baseman Colin Tacchini trying to remind Smith just of his presence out there before returning home for the 1-0 pitch. Pimley continues to look at him. Now Shively doing his turn of beating the glove before the pitch goes home. It's in the dirt, but Jacoby behind the dish doing a fine job of keeping it in front of him. Count moves now to 2-0. Jacoby working hard as always behind the dish. Especially today, it's extra hard work and 95-degree heat in the catcher's gear. Well, it feels like a heck of a lot more, let me tell you. It's the 2-0 on the way to Schiltz from Pimley. Swung on and missed. Count is 2-1. And that's the grind of being the catcher. It's what earns you the respect of your teammates. Is guys like Takini who want to catch every game. Still getting out there in 90-plus degree heat. The 2-1. That one's hit in the air towards shallow right field and will settle down in front of Glidden out there in right. And a base hit for Sam Schiltz makes him 1 for 3, and it also advances Smith to third and will bring up Brody Allen. Allen 1 for 2 today. He struck out in the first, singled in the third, and scored a run. Jacoby Takini, we just talked a moment about, gives the signs to his infield on what to do in a situation with runners at the corners. This is where teams can get tricky out there on the base paths. Although with 2 outs and down by as many runs, it would be tough for Phoenix to try to put something on here. But in fact, a wild pitch will allow Schiltz to move up to second anyway. Smith stays at third, so they've got 2 men in scoring position, and I think keeping Smith at third reinforces my point. You don't want to make that third out at home in this situation when you're looking for those 2 runs to come across. It would keep them in the ball game. Right now, Phoenix trailing by 7, but here in the 4th inning, a lot of baseball left. 5 is a lot friendlier of a number to try to come back from. Remember, Klamath Falls tried to erase a 9-run deficit starting in the 7th inning, and they almost did it back on July 2nd. So Phoenix knows what can happen late in these ball games and would probably feel a heck of a lot more comfortable if those runs were able to come in and score in this inning rather than having to wait till later like the Falcons tried to do back in Medford. Quick conference between Carson Pimley and Jacoby Takini is over. Jacoby just trying to instill some confidence, throw strikes in a 2-0 count. From the Falcons' perspective, those 2 runs don't mean all that much because you still have a lead even if they come in to score, so throwing strikes is what you want to do here. Pimley gets across a fastball. Allen lines it into right field. 1 run scores and 2 runs score as Smith and Schiltz both come in on the 2 RBI single from Brody Allen. He's trying to help himself out here, picking up his 2nd hit of the day and his first set of RBIs. A new score now 10-5. And the Falcons remain in front here in the top of the 4th inning. This brings up Alex Charlton, who is 1 for 2 today, struck out in the first and singled in the third. Pimley set with the pitch, and that one misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. After Charlton in the order is Andy Alvarez. Charlton awaits the pitch. It's in the dirt. Count moves to 2-0. Throw back to Pimley is going to go a little bit wild, but Shively there to back it up. Runner remains at first in Brody Allen. And the count is 2-0 to Alex Charlton at the plate. Pimley set. Runner aboard at first, Allen with about a 3-step lead. And here's a line drive to right field. This one looks playable for Glidden, and it is, and he will bring it in for the 3rd out. But the Pirates score 2 runs on 2 base hits, and they leave a runner stranded, leading by 5 are the Falcons, heading into the bottom of the 4th on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Introducing Smith Bates Marcom Solutions, your trusted partner in marketing and communication. We specialize in crafting compelling campaigns, eye-catching graphics, and impactful branding materials.
Smith Bates is like working with dependable friends. They always help us build our professional image.
Through the innovative strategies that the team at Smith Bates suggested, we've been able to give the brand at Calor the boost that it desperately needed.
Unlock your potential with Smith Bates Marcom Solutions.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start?
Here, in the classroom.
On the stage.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Be great.
Participate.
It is the bottom of the fourth inning, a game in which the Klamath Falls Falcons lead the Phoenix Pirates 10-5. New pitcher on the mound for the Phoenix Pirates is Theo Hodgden. He is making his fourth appearance of the summer. This will be his first in relief, though. He's pitched 13 previous innings, giving up 17 hits, 14 runs, 13 of them earned. He's walked 11 and struck out 18, leads the team in strikeouts. An ERA of 7 even as he takes over for Brody Allen, who now finds himself stationed over at third, just a straight across swap, third baseman to pitcher. And here in steps P.J. Safford. First pitch swinging for Safford. Ground ball out towards second, through into center field. And a leadoff single for Safford will bring up Ian Meyer. Good way to start the inning for the Falcons. We're looking to get back the 2 runs they gave back in the top half of the inning. They've been good at responding in this contest. They built out a 6-run lead after the first. Phoenix scored 2 in the second, but the Falcons scored 2 in their own second inning. After Phoenix got a single run back in the third, the Falcons added 2 more. And now Meyer puts a shot into deep left field. It's off the bottom of the wall. Safford gets the green light to score. They're sending him all the way from first, and he will score on a shot from Ian Meyer. His second RBI double of the contest makes it 11-5 Falcons. Corbin Hamilton will swing now for the Falcons. It's 2 pitches and already a run in for the Falcons. A leadoff single for Safford, followed by the double from Meyer. And now Corbin Hamilton, who's 1 for 2 today, had a triple in the first inning and flew out in the second. He'll take the first pitch low, and the count is 1-0. Was trying to give you the final line score on Brody Allen, who's exited the game for Phoenix. They'll do so after the 1-0 pitch to Corbin Hamilton. Hodgden shakes off the first offering from Cunningham, and now comes set. Here's the pitch. Misses away. Count is 2-0. Allen pitched the first 3 innings of the ballgame for Phoenix, giving up the 11 base hits, 10 runs, although just 8 of them earned. He walked 1 and struck out 1. Here's the 2-0. It's a line drive into left field. It just bent foul, and the count will be 2 balls and a strike now to Corbin Hamilton. Corbin Hamilton this summer is batting .359 for the Falcons. 20 RBI for him, and a man in scoring position in the person of Ian Meyer. The 2-1 pitch to Hamilton will find the zone. A fastball letter high called a strike. Count is even now to Corbin, with Carson Sims waiting on deck. Delivery from Hodgden is another fly ball deep to left field over the head of Charlton and will rattle off the wall. Meyer is going to score. Hamilton winds up at second. They trade places and add a run. 12-5 Falcons. Back-to-back RBI doubles for the Klamath Falls squad. And it brings up Carson Sims, who is 2 for 2 today, has singled twice and scored each time. Knocked in an RBI in the first inning as well. Sims awaits the first pitch. It misses high, 1-0. Sims leading the team in hitting this summer, batting .482 coming into play today. Nearly 60 points better than the next best in Connor Shively. Sims has been swinging it well lately. He sends another fly ball into right field. This time the right fielder unable to make the play, and it's going to allow Hamilton to advance to third. They're waving him in to score, and there will be no throw. Hamilton comes in and touches home, and it is 13-5 Falcons. So Sims gets the single. Pardon me for the silence there. Was trying to get clarification on the scoring there. So Sims gets the single, advancing on the error. No RBI as Hamilton comes in to score, but still now a 3-for-3 day for Carson Sims as Chase Barrett takes a first pitch ball to get ahead 1-0. The Falcons lead 13-5 as Barrett is 1 for 2 today. Barrett singled in the first, knocked in a run. He also flew out in the third. And the count to Chase is now 2-0. It's been 4 straight base hits. A single, 2 doubles, and another single have helped the Falcons score 3 runs in this inning. The 2-0 will find the zone. Count is 2-1. That one about neck high and off the plate to Chase, but called a strike. And he'll have to settle back in. Was displeased with that call to say the least, but he'll have to refocus up as Hodgson looks in, checks the runner at second, that's Sims, and delivers the 2-1 pitch home. Barrett sends a scorching ground ball down the third base line by the third baseman and fair. They're going to hold Sims up at third. Barrett is screaming around first, though, and winds up at second. Aggressive base running there for the Falcons puts 2 men in scoring position, still with nobody out, and Max Price steps up to the plate. Price with an RBI back in the third inning. He walked, flew out, and, well, he flew out again in the third, but added an RBI on the sacrifice fly then. Quick meeting from the shortstop, Sam Schiltz, over to talk to Theo Hodgson. The corner infield comes in for Phoenix. Still nobody out. First pitch to Price is looked at for a ball. It's in the dirt and kicks away from the catcher, Cunningham, and will allow Sims to score from third. Chase Barrett also advancing to third on that play, and the score reads 14-5. Falcons lead 4 runs home this frame. All right, settling back in is Max Price. Delivery from Hodgson, now working out of the windup just with that runner at third. Gets across a fastball, middle of the zone for strike 1. Count is even now to Max Price with Connor Shively waiting on deck. Here's the 1-1. That one in the dirt. Count is 2-1. Falcons scored 6 in the first, 2 in each the second and third, and now again, 4 here in this frame, and still nobody out. Pitch to Price, misses wide. Count is 3-1. Falcons, like I said, coming into this game have swung the bat well, entering on a 7-game winning streak as Price works a walk there to get on base. Runners at the corners for Connor Shively. Falcons going back to Friday in a doubleheader, scored 17 combined runs. In a doubleheader against the Salem Dodgers, scored 26 combined runs. And against South Medford back on July 8th, scored 20 runs there in a doubleheader too. They've been seeing it well as of late as Shively gets ready to swing now again with runners at the corner. Shively 2 for 3 today. He singled back in the second, doubled in the third, and scored then as well. Pitch on the way to Shively. Line drive, center field, base hit. Barrett will score. They're holding Price up at second. And a 15-5 ball game, and the Falcons lead. Shively now 3 for 4 today. Jacoby Takini 2 for 3 as he steps in. He's already got 3 RBI as well. A triple and a double on the book for him. First pitch taking a ball outside. Count is 1-0 to Jacoby with Colin Tacchini on deck for the Falcons. Set on the mound is Hodgson. The pitch is taken upstairs. Count is 2-0. Time on the field. What do we got time for? I think it's just time for the pitcher, perhaps. Needing to gather his thoughts after falling behind 2-0 to Jacoby Tacchini. All right, Hodgson from Phoenix High School, back on the rubber, and the 2-0. Tacchini rips it to third, gloved by Allen at third. The throw to try to get Price at second, though, winds up in right field. And now Price is going to wind up at third for his troubles. So an out plus the error will put runners at the corners with one gone in the fourth inning. Colin Tacchini, who's 1 for 3 in the ball game, gets ready to swing away now. Singled in the first, came around to score since then, though he struck out and grounded out. Pitch will skip away in the dirt. Away from Cunningham it goes as Max Price scurries home for the 16th run of the ball game for the Falcons. Also advancing to second is Connor Shively. Count will be 1-0 to Colin with P.J. Safford on deck. He's who started this inning. It's been long innings today, and much like I highlighted the work for for Jacoby Tacchini behind the dish, well, Connor Cunningham is having to work through these similar struggles here, except the innings for him have been a whole heck of a lot longer behind the dish for Phoenix so far today. The count is now 2-0 to Colin Tacchini. Pitch from Hodgson is a line drive to right field, settles in for a base hit. They're waving in Shively, and he will score. An RBI single for Colin Tacchini makes it 17-5 Falcons. They can't be stopped here in the fourth. And this will trigger a timeout for Phoenix. Again, now that the Falcons have batted around, you wonder how much time is left for Hodgson. But we said at the top of the broadcast that they don't have many other options, so decision time for the Phoenix coach to be sure. And it looks like they are going to make a change. Alex Charlton gets the call in from left field, which means we will step aside in a 17-5 ball game and give the new pitcher a chance to warm up for the Phoenix Pirates. Falcons in front in the bottom of the fourth inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and MyBasin.com.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 120,000 participants here in Oregon who take part in high school sports or activities.
At MyBasin.com, we bring you the power of local radio,
the pace and reach of social media,
the information of 24-hour news,
and the excitement of local sports.
We do this with a team of radio professionals that is second to none.
Klamath Falls is a community that we love and a place that we are proud to call home.
Klamath Falls deserves a media group that is as committed to you as you are to Klamath Falls.
MyBasin.com is your go-to place for news,
sports, events, and everything going on at home in Klamath Falls.
New pitcher in the game for the Phoenix Pirates will be the right-hander, Alex Charlton. Charlton, so far this summer for the Phoenix Pirates, is making his fifth overall appearance. It'll be his fourth in relief. He carries a 1-0 record, has one save on the summer. Has given up 6 hits, 5 runs, none of them earned, so has an ERA of 0 through 11 1/3 innings this summer. And he also pitched last time the Pirates played the Falcons. He was able to get the save, work in the final inning in 2/3, allowing 3 hits and 2 runs in that contest, although, again, none of them earned. And so trying to get out of this bottom of the 4th inning, which has proved disastrous for Phoenix. They had remained in striking distance, coming up with good hits on offense after surrendering a 6-run first inning to the Falcons. They found themselves within 5, earning a run back and battling through the first 3, but so far the Falcons have scored 7 runs this inning. They've batted around, and there's only 1 out and a runner in scoring position as we get set to see Colby Medeiros batting in place of P.J. Safford. See how many more substitutions come in here for the Falcons throughout the rest of not only this inning, but the rest of the ball game as well, as Medeiros stepping in now. Give you a look at Medeiros on the season here in just a moment as we get ready for the first pitch from Alex Charlton. It will miss outside, and the count is 1-0. Medeiros, not a ton of at-bats this summer. He is 4 for his first 11, an average of .364. As Charlton gets set on the mound with the 1-0. Medeiros watches that one sail away, 2-0 the count. Other defensive changes for the Pirates as Charlton came in from left field. He's replaced in left field by Andy Alvarez. Replacing Alvarez at first is the former pitcher Theo Hodgson. The pitch misses high there to Medeiros. The count is 3-0. After Medeiros, waiting on deck is Ian Meyer. So no sub in the 6 hole just yet, it seems, for the Falcons. The 3-0 pitch on the way to Medeiros is taken for a strike, middle fastball that Charlton uses to try to battle back against the product from Bonanza High School. Medeiros awaits the 3-1. Charlton takes a deep breath before delivering, and he misses low for ball 4. So Colby works his way on, and it moves Colin over to second. And here comes Ian Meyer, who is 3 for 3 today. Couple of doubles, 2 RBIs on the day for Ian. He's also scored a pair of runs in 2 of those trips around the bases. Right now his team leads by 12. Here's the pitch on the way to Ian. Misses just outside. Count is 1-0. Meyer nearly left the yard earlier this inning when he sent a deep shot to left field. It just hit off the bottom of the wall of the KFC sign over there in left. Here's the delivery to Meyer. The 1-0 is going to miss wide. Count is 2-0 to Meyer. Modest lead off a first for Medeiros. Not much to speak of for Colin out there at second as Meyer gets signs in from the third base coach, Sean Teeters. And the delivery on the way from Charlton. The 2-0. Meyer swings and misses at the fastball. And the count moves to 2-1. After Meyer in the order is Corbin Hamilton. Meyer is the 11th batter to hit this inning for the Falcons. Here's the 2-1 pitch out of the hands of Charlton. Just missed outside. Count moves to 3-1. Pirates only with 9 guys available today. They're all out there. So again, pitching has been something to work around today for Phoenix. They made a change here to start this 4th inning. And Theo Hodgson was unable to get out of this inning, only recording the single out, which was a line drive. Jacoby Dakini hit a ball about as hard as you can right at somebody for the lone out of the inning so far. Count is 3-2 to Ian Meyer after you fouled off the 3-1 pitch. Now Charlton kicks, steps, fires, and misses with ball 4, and that will load the bases for Corbin Hamilton. Collin to third, Medeiros to second, and Meyer to first. And pardon me, instead of Corbin Hamilton, it is going to be Hunter Glidden to bat now for the Falcons. Pitch to Glidden, called a strike. The count is 0-1. So Hamilton will exit the game, at least for now, after going 2 for 3 with a double and a triple. The 0-1 to Glidden, taken for a strike, and Hunter quickly falls behind 0-2. On the season, Hunter is 4 for his first 15, making him a 310 hitter. Here's a fly ball behind second base. They're going to call an infield fly, and so the batter is out, and this will bring up Ryan Glidden. Glidden batting in place of Carson Sims here, who will exit 3 for 3 with 3 singles. First pitch on the way to Ryan Glidden. Kicks and fires does Charlton. The first pitch misses away. Ball 1. Ryan Glidden batting .231 this summer for the Falcons. 6 RBIs. He's 9 for his first 39. Played well in the team's doubleheader against the Salem Dodgers. That came back on Wednesday this past week. The 1-0 pitch is going to miss low. Count is 2-0 to Ryan Glidden. After Glidden in the Falcons order, due up is Chase Barrett. It looks like I see him down there. So again, there's been 3 substitutions the second time around the order this inning for the Falcons. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Ryan Glidden. Just misses outside, and the count moves to 3-0. And again, a base is loaded, so a walk would add a run. And a quick meeting between the pitcher and the catcher. Let's us remind you that today's broadcast is brought to you in part by Klamath Falls Subaru, who through the Subaru Love Promise has donated thousands of dollars to dozens of hometown charities, comfortable and not corporate. At Klamath Falls Subaru, stop by and say hi. Also want to thank you for joining us, whether you're watching on the live stream on mybasin.com or joining us on the radio on 104.3 and 960 Sports. We'll be live here again from Kiger Stadium tomorrow evening at 5 for the final home game of the season. So as much as I appreciate you for joining me on the broadcast, would honestly much rather see you out at the ballpark tomorrow night to support the Falcons in their final home game of the season. All right, 3-0 to Ryan Glidden does find the zone. A fastball on the outer third makes it 3-1. Bases loaded for Ryan Glidden at the plate as Charlton comes set again. Here comes the 3-1. That one bounces and will be a walk. Run will come in to score, and it's an 18-5 ball game. Tacchini touches home. Medeiros to third. Meyer to second, and now Ryan Glidden aboard at first. It brings up Chase Barrett. Barrett 2 for 3 today. He's singled twice, once earlier this inning. He also flew out in the third, but his single in the first added an RBI. Here he bats with the bases loaded. First pitch taken for Chase, and he falls behind 0-1. On deck for the Falcons is Max Price. Set is Charlton. And the 0-1. Waved at and missed. Count moves to 0-2. Falcons have scored 8 runs in this inning alone to build out a 13-run advantage over the Phoenix Pirates. Here's the 0-2. That is going to bounce to the plate, and it will skip past the catcher Cunningham, and it will allow a run to come in and score as Medeiros breaks for the plate. Meyer moves to third. Ryan Glidden moves up to second as well, and the score is 19-5 Falcons. Count is 1-2, by the way, to Chase Barrett at the plate. Here's the delivery from Charlton. Barrett will take a ball off the outside. Count is 2-2. You think maybe if Cunningham caught that one cleanly, it might have been strike 3. I think Barrett got bailed out there, but the count runs even. Charlton back on the rubber. Looks in to get the sign from Cunningham. And comes set. Big lead off a third for Ian Meyer. And the 2-2 home. Hit in the air in the infield. Shortstop Schiltz having to come in. Nobody's going to get to it. Nobody called it off. And that one settled down in the infield for a hit for Chase Barrett, allowing another run to come in and score. And it is 12-5 Falcons. Meyer scores. Glidden stays at third. Barrett aboard at first. It's just a fly ball in the infield. It was kind of right between the pitcher's mound and where the second baseman plays defensively. But Charlton just sort of waited for one of his defenders to call it off, which they should. The pitcher typically isn't going to make a catch in the infield like that. And nobody called anybody off, and they all thought someone else was going to catch it. There's the base hit, and the run comes in to score. So that'll cause the coach to come on out of the dugout, try to straighten out his infield as Bill Hutchison takes a walk back to the dugout. And now we go back to the top of the order for Max Price. 10 runs home this inning for the Falcons as they lead 20-5. All right. Price, who walked earlier this inning and came around to score, gets set to hit for the second time here in the fourth. Pitch from Charlton is a chopper to first. Picked up cleanly by Hodgson. He will take it to the bag himself to finally put an end to the fourth inning. But the Falcons lead by 15. To the top of the fifth we go on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Time to reclaim your health and your autonomy. At Heartfelt OBGYN, they focus on you. Their evidence-based approach to care means fewer office visits and a targeted treatment plan to directly address your specific needs. They believe in solutions for their patients, not the industry's profit margin. The providers at Heartfelt OBGYN are committed to serving the community and giving back to the basin. Find them at heartfeltobgyn.com. Heartfelt, because you deserve to be in control of your body and your informed choices.
At Eisler Group, they are confident that their tax and accounting professionals are experienced and trained like no one else. From individual, corporate, partnership, estate, trust, Eisler Group stands ready to help you with all of your financial, tax, and accounting needs. They have been in Klamath Falls for nearly 60 years, raising their families here and being part of the community. The Eisler Group can be found at eislerkf.com. That's ISLERKF.com. eislerkf.com.
5, 6, and 7 due up for the Phoenix Pirates here in the top half of the fifth inning, a game in which the Klamath Falls Falcons lead 20-5. A single 9-inning affair means no mercy rule in effect here in the top of the fifth inning. Got to play 7 in a 9-inning game. The Falcons will look to maintain their large advantage as Carson Pimley goes through Alvarez, Hodgson, and Dorner this half. Around the diamond for the Falcons, Safford has been replaced at third by Max Price. Got a couple of other changes for the Falcons. I believe Barrett is in center, and he's flanked by the Glidden brothers with Ryan in left and Hunter in right. That's at least how I see it. And again, Price over there at third. Oh, Ryan Douglas is in right. Pardon me. Okay. Here's a ground ball sent to Price at third. Throw made to first in time. We'll reset the outfield for you as I, got it pretty blatantly wrong there, so just a moment. So Ryan Douglas is in left, Ryan Glidden is in center, and Hunter Glidden is in right there for the Falcons after the ground out from Alvarez. It brings up Theo Hodgson, who is without an at-bat today. He walked in the second, was hit by a pitch in the third. And now we'll bat with the bases empty against Carson Pimley. First pitch misses upstairs. Count at 1-0. Carson Pimley in the ball game has thrown 63 pitches. That'll be the total after this one. Here's the 1-0, and it's a swing and a miss. Count is even at a ball and a strike. So far, since coming in relief in the second inning, Pimley has pitched 3 1/3, giving up 4 hits, 3 runs, and has struck out 3. 1-1 waved at and missed. Count moves to a ball and 2 strikes to Theo Hodgson, with Brady Dorner waiting on deck for the Pirates. Pimley, again out of the windup, gets the sign from Jacoby Tacchini. And the pitch is an inside changeup, swung on and missed. Down on strikes goes Hodgson, and it brings up Brady Dorner. Dorner was hit by a pitch in the second. He struck out in the third. So the Falcons trying to make it a quick inning here, up by 15. Pimley steps, kicks, and fires. It's a fly ball to right field and settles in for a base hit. Just over the head of Corbin Hamilton at first. And a 2-out base knock for Dorner is his first hit of the game and the 5th hit of the game for Phoenix. And it brings up Chaos Smith. Smith has walked and has been hit by a pitch so far. When he was hit by a pitch in the 4th inning, he came around to score. Hardly any lead off of first for Dorner. As the pitch home is called a strike, knee-high fastball, and Smith falls behind 0-1. On deck is Weston Nelson. Pimley with the delivery. It's swung on and missed. Count quickly now to 0-2 to Chaos Smith. Talked about it in a moment, but started the academic year last year at Klamath Union High School. His team, and his family rather, moving over to the Rogue Valley. Find himself a member of the Phoenix Pirates as he takes the 0-2 upstairs, 1-2. I believe he played football with the Pelicans during the fall time before making the move over to the Rogue Valley. Here's the 1-2 pitch to him. Takes a look at strike 3. A 2-seam fastball finds the outside corner, and Pimley sets him down looking. 2 strikeouts in the 5th. A base hit, but they leave him stranded, does Phoenix. They trail 20-5 as we go to the bottom half of the 5th on 104.3 and 960 Sports, mybasin.com.
We drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
It is the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Klamath Falls Falcons lead 20-5 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 in the order for the Falcons. I'm pretty confident that it will remain Shively, Tacchini, and Tacchini. As Alex Charlton looks to continue his outing on the mound, hoping to quiet down a Falcons order who has already put up their 2nd most runs of the summer. Most runs they scored was back in June against Grants Pass. They scored 28 runs in a ball game against the Diggers. More recently, they scored 19 against the Salem Dodgers earlier in the week, and of course have put up a 20 spot here against the Phoenix Pirates. Now, fly ball the opposite way, gets down into left, and Connor Shively add another hit, make him 4 for 5, and another single will bring up Jacoby Takini. Each time Shively has gotten on base so far today, he's come around to score. That was in the second, third, and fourth innings. Looking to add another here in the fifth. Pitch on the way to Takini. Hits it high in the air to left field. Alvarez back a couple of steps. Has to battle the sun, but makes the catch for the first out. Brings up Ryan Douglas is going to bat in the spot of Colin Takini here. First at bat we'll see for Douglas today. He took over defensively in left field in the last inning. So Colin Takini exits the game at least momentarily after going 2 for 4. Douglas sends a high fly ball to center field that Dorner brings in on the run, moving towards the right center field gap. Nice play in center to set down Douglas on one pitch, and in steps Colby Medeiros. So 2-away and a runner on first now for Colby, who walked and scored in the fourth inning. Pitch on the way to Medeiros. Takes a look at ball one in the dirt. Count moves to 1-0. Runner at first is Shively. Earned his trip there after a leadoff single, but back-to-back flyouts to left and center field have kept him there. Now with 2 gone, and the delivery to Colby Medeiros. Pops it up to the right side of the infield. Back is the second baseman Nelson, puts it away for the out. So after the leadoff single, the Falcons go 3 straight flyouts to end the fifth, but they carry a 15-run lead into the sixth. 104.3 and 960 Sports. Falcons baseball continues next on mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
Getting ready for the top of the sixth inning on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com. A 20-5 ball game that the Falcons lead the Phoenix Pirates. For the Falcons, they've scored their 20 runs on 20 hits. They have yet to commit an error, and they have left 6 runners on base. For the Pirates, their 5 runs come on 5 hits. They've committed 5 errors, and they have also left 6 runners on base in the contest as Ian Meyer gets a chance to throw here for the Klamath Falls Falcons, the new right-hander out there, making his very first appearance of the summer. Meyer will come in relief of Carson Pimley, who has exited the game. Other defensive changes for the Falcons include Colby Medeiros coming in to play a little second base here for Klamath Falls. Weston Nelson, Connor Cunningham, Sam Schiltz due up this half for the Phoenix Pirates. That's 9-1-2. So we get set for the top of the sixth inning. First delivery on the way from Ian Meyer is popped foul to the right side and will stay foul. The count is 0-1 to Weston Nelson, who's 0 for 1 today. He struck out in the second but laid down a sacrifice back in the fourth. He's tasked with trying to get a mountain of a rally started here in the 6th. That pitch is called a strike. The count is 0-2 from Meyer. Again, didn't pitch at all so far in the summer. Been quite some time. Meyer getting light work in with the Henley varsity team during the springtime. I'm trying to think, did he even really pitch that much in the varsity year? I can't recall if he did. One other change that snuck away from me, didn't quite notice, is that P.J. Safford has come in to catch as well. That pitch for Meyer is fouled back. Count remains 1-2. So good that they're able to get Jacoby a little bit of rest. Has, again, been catching in that 95-degree heat. So going to cycle in those guys like P.J. Safford as the 1-2 is right down the middle. Looked at for strike 3. Meyer recording his first strikeout on the mound this season. Brings up Connor Cunningham for the Phoenix Pirates. Cunningham today is 0 for 2. He walked in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the second, flew out in the fourth. Pitch here from Meyer winds up behind him. The count moves to 1-0. So just reset the whole defense for the Falcons for you in just a minute with all the changes we've had. Just try to complete the whole picture for you as the 1-0 is called a strike, 1-1. P.J. Safford is catching. Max Price is at third. Connor Shively at short. Colby Medeiros at second with Corbin Hamilton at first. In the outfield, after this 1-1 pitch is fisted out towards second. Medeiros plays it on a hop, sets his feet and throws, but it takes Hamilton off the bag, and an error will allow Cunningham to reach first. First error of the day for the Falcons. So the outfield, as promised, Ryan Douglas is in left. Ryan Glidden is in center, and Hunter Glidden is in right. So with the runner on, here's Sam Schiltz, who struck out his first 2 times, but singled in the fourth and scored a run in that inning. Pitch from Meyer is hit foul the opposite way. Count moves to 0-1. It will be Brody Allen due up next for the Phoenix Pirates. Meyer looking in. Gets the sign in from Safford behind the dish as he comes set. The 0-1 is going to miss outside. Count is even now to ball and a strike to Schiltz. Pirates trailing heavily. They scored 2 runs in the second, added 1 in the third, and scored 2 more in the fourth. And again, in a 9-running game, they won't be facing a mercy rule defeat until the 7th inning. On the move from first is Cunningham. He slides in safely under the tag from Medeiros. And he moves into scoring position. The pitch home was called a strike, so the count moves to 1-2 against Schiltz, with Cunningham in scoring position. Meyer takes a look at the runner before delivering the 1-2 pitch. Cut foul towards the Phoenix dugout. Count will remain 1-2. Just about every defensive position for the Falcons this game has changed at least once, except for shortstop and first base. As Shively makes sure Cunningham is aware of him out there at short. Another pop-up out of play. That one hit off the light post down over by the visitors' dugout. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes to Sam Schiltz. About a 6-7 step lead off of second for Cunningham. That's why Shively's just making sure he's aware as the 1-2 comes home. Swung on and missed. Down goes Schiltz for the 3rd time on strikes today. And now there are 2 gone in the 6th inning. Brings up Brody Allen, who is 2 for 3. Couple of singles his last 2 times up in the 3rd and 4th innings. He also struck out in the first. Runner on the move to third, misses in the pitch. The throw down is not going to be there. And so Cunningham stealing third after reaching on an error. Back-to-back steals have put him in a good spot. But it's now up to Allen to try and come through in the 1-0 count. Meyer will miss low. The count moves to 2-0. In Allen's single in the fourth inning, he added 2 RBI. When he singled in the third, he would come around to score. The 2-0 is called a strike. I think Meyer dialed back the velocity, something off speed, got across the outside corner of the plate there. The count is 2 balls and a strike to the starting pitcher from Phoenix. Allen sends a 2-1 pitch into the air into right center field, down in for a base hit. Big turnaround first, but Allen will stay there, and the new score is 20-6. Phoenix still trailing, but adding a run on the RBI from Brody Allen. And all things told, offensively, having a fine day at the plate. He's now 3 for 4 with 3 RBI. And Alex Charlton steps up now with 2 outs and a runner on. Charlton is 1 for 3 today. He has struck out and flown out, but in the third inning, sandwiched in there was a single. Here he takes a firm fastball for strike 1. After Charlton in the order, it is Andy Alvarez for the Phoenix Pirates if the inning continues. Set on the mound is Meyer, and delivers the pitch. Misses upstairs. Count is even now at a ball and a strike. Reminder, baseball fans, if you're looking to come out and watch some baseball today, you've heard me say this is a single game for the Falcons. Well, the Henley D2 team does play after us here at Kiger Stadium as the 1-1 pitch misses outside, 2-1. So something of a local doubleheader here today at Kiger Stadium. So if you find yourself looking for time to kill on a Sunday afternoon, come on out and join us at the ballpark. The concession stands have been open today, and encourage you to come on out and enjoy some afternoon baseball. As the 2-1 misses 3-1. Although this one hasn't been particularly close in the scoreboard, it's been nice to see the Falcons swing the bat a little bit today, as that one is fouled off. Count is 3-2 now. And I think Meyer made a throw to first. Umpires were signaling foul ball, but didn't verbalize it, and so I think Meyer just trying to play that one through. We've had it happen before where balls that have bounced off of guys' legs have not been called foul balls this year, and so I think the Falcons just trying to play through until they hear it for sure, but that was certainly a foul ball. Here's the 3-2 on the way to Alex Charlton. It is hit in the air, shallow right field. That one will drop in front of Ryan Glidden. Advancing to third on that play is Brody Allen. And back-to-back 2-out singles put runners at the corners for the Phoenix Pirates, and Andy Alvarez to the plate. Alvarez today is 0 for 2. He walked in the second and scored. Since then, he's grounded out twice, but when he grounded out in the third, added an RBI. Meyer set with the first offering to Alvarez. His fastball is called a strike, 0-1. Good placement on the outside to the right-handed hitting Alvarez. Theo Hodgson is on deck for the Phoenix Pirates. Meyer looking in, getting the sign. Runners on the move from first. Ball hit in the air to right field. That is over the head of Glidden in right and will roll near the warning track. 1 run is in. They're waving Charlton in from first, and he will score. And a 2 RBI double for Andy Alvarez makes it 20-8 with the Falcons in front. Theo Hodgson, who is without a hit yet today, struck out his last time around. Looking to keep a rally going here for his ball club. Here's the pitch from Meyer. Slider misses away. Count moves to 1-0. Reminder, with the 9-inning game, mercy rule doesn't take effect until the 7th inning. Still a 10-run difference would be required, but Phoenix battling here, trying to keep it alive. They've already scored 3 runs in this frame alone as the 1-0 pitch gets across for a strike, evens it to Hodgson, with Brady Dorner due up next for the Pirates. Meyer eyes the runner at second as he comes set. The 1-1 pitch is a slider started inside and a nice pitch to creep back over the zone. Count is 1-2 to Hodgson. Meyer has gotten 2 strikes on a couple of guys this inning, and it's resulted most recently in 3 straight hits. The 1-2. This time is a chopper sent back to the mound. Meyer has to leave his feet to bring it in, and it tosses it on to first to record the out. A fine play by Ian to end the inning. Phoenix scores 3 on 3-base hit. 1 Falcons error helps him out, but right now it's the Falcons who still lead 20-8. To the bottom of the 6th next on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Threads. There are many threads that run through our region. There are churches and schools and Little League teams that bring us together and bind us into communities. There are roads and cars, there are houses and jobs and businesses, all woven together to make the fabric of our communities. There are financial threads that are part of that tapestry as well. For over 80 years, it's been our pleasure to be headquartered here, providing financial services to generations of our friends and neighbors. From that first savings account, to retirement planning, and all of the cars and houses and groceries in between, we keep your money local, investing it back into our communities, adding more threads to the fabric to make our communities stronger. Pacific Crest Federal Credit Union. Find your path.
It's going to be 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Klamath Falls Falcons here in the bottom of the 6th inning, a game in which they lead 20-8 against the Phoenix Pirates. Should be Meyer, and then I believe Hunter, then Ryan Glidden in the order due up as the Falcons look to gain back a couple of runs that they had surrendered in the last half inning. Phoenix showing some life in the top half of the 6th to score 3 runs. So Meyer, who started the game as a designated hitter, now finds himself with the pitching duties, looking to continue what has been a great day at the plate so far. Meyer has reached base all 4 times. He's 3 for 3. Last time he walked. He's also added 2 RBIs with 2 doubles. Just a really good day seeing the baseball for Ian. First pitch on the way from Alex Charlton is called a strike. Count moves to 0-1. Charlton, the right-hander, working out of the windup with the bases empty, was able to get out of the 5th inning unscathed against the Klamath Falls Falcons as the 0-1 misses 1-1 after allowing the leadoff single. It was 3 straight flyouts. I'm sure Charlton is looking for more of the same as, again, with his team showing some life, they look to avoid a mercy rule loss to the Klamath Falls Falcons in the next half inning. The 1-1 misses for part of the Falcons. They hope to add some insurance, as a 12-run lead really is a 2-run lead when you try to end it early, and that has not been comfortable so far for the Falcons today. Phoenix scored 2 in the first, 1 in the third, 2 more in the fourth, and 3 in the top half of this 6th inning. Here's a high fly ball in the infield behind first. Hodgson will make the catch for the out. And so in steps Corbin Hamilton, who is returned to the batting order here. Been a handful of changes all around for the Falcons, so I suppose I should just wait until guys actually come up to the plate to speculate on who's going to hit. But Corbin Hamilton stepping into the right-handed batter's box now. Here's the offering from Charlton. It's a first pitch strike across the outside part of the zone to Hamilton, 0-1. Corbin is 2 for 3 today, a double and a triple with 2 RBI and 2 runs scored. Here's the 0-1 to Corbin. That one misses, and the count is a ball and a strike. Hamilton's been playing first base all day long for the Falcons, one of the only guys who hasn't moved around defensively today. The 1-1 misses in the dirt, 2-1. Hamilton is only pitched and played first base this year for the Falcons, although in the prep season with the Henley Hornets, did play a little bit of right field, and well, he looks pretty comfortable in right field too. I definitely think that in a pinch you could stick him out there, although the Falcons have a plethora of outfielders, allowing Hamilton to not have to worry about it so much, as that pitch to him misses inside 3-1. And so many of these Falcons guys do come from Henley High School, Corbin obviously included, but it's nice when you get some of these other guys from around the base, and even some of the younger call-ups that the Falcons have had this year. You add both of the Glidden brothers. You add Medeiros, who can slide in there sometimes, and it's made it so that way Hamilton can just focus on the things that matter most, playing first base and pitching extremely well. And here he works a walk, a 5-pitch walk to Corbin, puts him on first with 1 out. Ryan Glidden ready to step in now. Glidden walked his first time up, was left stranded at third. That was in the 4th inning. Hits in the spot of Carson Sims, the 8-hole. Sims was 3 for 3 with 3 runs scored and an RBI today. Makes a case for one of his stronger performances of the season. Ryan Glidden looking to leave his own mark on this game as he takes a pitch upstairs, 1-0. Glidden batting from the right side from Klamath Union High School, the only Falcon this year on the roster who has graduated from high school. He's the only class of 2025 member on the team. Count is 1-1 now to Glidden. His younger brother, Hunter, played for Henley instead of Klamath Union. Hunter, who patrols right field today now for the Falcons, looks to be a big part not only of this Falcons team moving forward, but of those Henley Hornets for the next handful of seasons. As a 1-1 pitch misses outside, 2-1. Glidden was a member of what was a rebuilding Klamath Union baseball team for his 4-year stretch with the Pelicans. The 2-1 pitch on the way from Charlton is swung on and missed, 2-2. Falcons missing the postseason this last spring, but making the play in each of the previous 2 seasons before that with Glidden on the roster, as they look to continue what, again, has been a rebuilding for them and for most of the Skyline Conference, really, in the 4A classification. The 2-2 pitch, Glidden looks at strike 3 below the knees, but goes down as the second out in the 6th inning. You look around that league, that also includes Mazama. They're very clearly in a rebuilding situation with so many underclassmen filling the ranks of their roster. Hidden Valley's been good. They'll stay good. They've been good for the better part of 2 decades. But Henley could say the same. Phoenix would be the one who's been kind of up and down the last couple of years, but they were the ones who were able to sneak in and make the postseason this year. It's Phoenix, Charlton, part of that team. He misses outside there, 1-0. Phoenix Pirates finished with a record in the Skyline Conference this year of 7-9, which was good enough to earn them that 3rd place spot. Now, when I say they made the postseason, they didn't actually make the playoff, as they made the play-in round, in which they lost to North Bend 2-1. That ended their season, but still a return to postseason play for the Pirates, who've been well coached and have hung around in what has typically been a challenging Skyline Conference for the past decade. Just these past couple of seasons have pretty much come up all Henley. It's count now 2 balls and a strike to Chase Barrett. The Hornets have gone undefeated in the Skyline Conference now 3 years in a row. It's the 2-1 pitch on the way to Barrett is swung on and fouled back into the glove of the catcher Cunningham. The count is 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner aboard at first and 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning of a 20-8 ball game that the Falcons lead the Phoenix Pirates. The 2-2. Looked at for ball 3. That one missing off the outside to Barrett. Lineup turns over next for the Falcons with Max Price on deck. Barrett settles back into the box. Runner will likely be on the move from first in a 3-2 count. There goes Hamilton, And the pitch by Barrett is swung on and missed, chasing the high heat, and that allows Charlton to escape the 6th inning without allowing a run. As we go to the 7th, the Falcons lead by 12 on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Wait, all I do is wait. So lonely, I just sigh and moan. Seems like I've been away forever, wondering if you're coming home. I just saw your face, I know you're coming home. I swear there is no place that feels as good as home. And then I heard your voice, I know you're coming home. I know you're coming home.
This is where unconditional love and immeasurable happiness reside. This is home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Josh Eldridge back with you on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com. The Klamath Falls Falcons look to close out a Mercy Rule victory against the Phoenix Pirates as they lead by 12. Phoenix would have to score at least 3 runs this inning to continue the ball game, as they'll have to do it against a new arm. For the Klamath Falls Falcons, it's Max Price who's looking to close out the final inning of this ball game. Max Price, pitching in his 7th game this summer, is making his 6th appearance in relief. He's pitched 14 2/3 innings previously, allowing 11 hits, 2 runs, although just one of those earned. He's walked 4 and struck out 11, all for an ERA of .48. Second best ERA on the team. So it'll be 7-8-9 standing in between the Falcons and an early victory against the Pirates. That's Dorner, Smith, and Nelson. So far today, Dorner is 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch his first time. Since then, though, has struck out and singled. Price misses wide there. The count is 1-0. For Max, obviously not a save opportunity here with your team up 12, but this has been the role that he traditionally pitched in during the prep season, was come in, get the last few outs, and give the starting pitcher a little bit of a break at the end of the game. Now, in the prep season, Henley's starters would often pitch 6 innings, 5 or 6 innings. It's count as a ball and a strike now. Not usually the case here with the Falcons. Usually gets spread out a little bit more. As the 1-1 pitch called a strike. So Price hasn't had as many opportunities to pitch, that final inning situation like he has today. But you'll look to make the most of it as he fires in the 1-2 pitch to Dorner. It misses low and away. The count is 2-2. Again, not usually a guy who's going to get a ton of saves during the prep season, as Henley was often winning games by, definitely more than 3 runs. As the 2-2 is fouled back, count remains 2-2. But you can rely on him as a different look from a lot of these other Falcons pitchers. Price doesn't come with a lot of velocity, but can have a little bit of movement. The changeup is what you like to see from Max, and the location of those pitches. But here he makes the count full, 3-2 to Brady Dorner. And again, Smith waits on deck for the Pirates. Pitch on the way from Price will miss upstairs, and a leadoff walk delivered to the Pirates will bring up Chaos Smith. So Smith is 0 for 1. He walked in the second, was hit by a pitch in the fourth. He would come in to score then. Otherwise, he struck out in the 5th inning. Middle infield at double play depth for the Falcons. Set out there is Price, and the pitch misses outside, 1-0. the third base coach for Phoenix, trying to offer up some signs to Smith in a 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. Checks his swing, but it's fouled off. The count is even. A ball and a strike to Smith with Weston Nelson waiting on deck for the Phoenix Pirates. And by the way, Ian Meyer, who was pitching in that last inning for the Falcons, has moved over to third. Price comes in to pitch from third, so just pretty much a straight across swap there. Count is now a ball and 2 strikes. It also looks like Colin Tacchini has returned to the game to play second base for the Falcons. Pitch from Price is looked at for strike 3. An outside fastball got Smith looking for the first out in the 7th inning. Here is Weston Nelson, who's 0 for 2 today. He struck out a pair of times and also had a sacrifice bunt in the 4th inning. That one won't count against him, but he is looking to rectify those 2 strikeouts by getting on base here in the 7th inning. Phoenix already has 1 runner on. It was Dorner who led off this inning with a walk. Here's a ground ball to first. Hamilton is unable to field it completely clean, but instead of trying to turn 2, is able to just touch the bag at first and get Nelson. So advancing to second is Dorner. And with 2 gone and a runner in scoring position, it's the leadoff hitter, Connor Cunningham. Cunningham without a base hit yet today. He's 0 for 3, but he's reached base 3 times. He walked in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the second, and after a flyout in the 4th, reached on an error and scored in the 6th inning. The first pitch to him misses low and away. Count is 1-0. If the inning continues, it'll be Sam Schiltz on deck for Phoenix. The 1-0 is going to miss downstairs. Count is 2-0. Only about a 5-step lead off of second for Dorner. The pitch home from Price misses again in the dirt. Count is 3-0 to the catcher for Phoenix. First base is open, but you walk him and you bring the run to the plate that would eliminate the possibility for a mercy rule win. The 3-0 will miss high. Oh, that's actually strike 1. That pitch looked like it was nearly above Cunningham's head, but count is 3-1 to the Phoenix catcher. Price comes set with a second life in this at-bat. Fires in a strike that's popped up in the infield. This could do it, and it does do it as Tacchini brings it in out at second, and that will be the ball game. The Klamath Falls Falcons defend Kiger Stadium to the tune of a 20-8 victory against the Phoenix Pirates. Stick with us for a brief post-game show as we wrap this one up for you and get you set up for the final home game of the season tomorrow night here at Kiger Stadium. Final score 20-8. Falcons win on 104.3 and 960 Sports and mybasin.com.
Pacific Power works day in and day out to power our communities because we know our neighbors rely on us. We're trimming and clearing branches around poles and lines, protecting our system, and giving you real-time updates when storms roll in. You can count on us in all seasons. 24/7, we're here for you. Powering your greatness.
The cars we drive play an important part of our everyday. Whether we're going to work, dropping off the kids at school, or maybe even on that first date. Vehicles we drive play an important role in all of that. And that's why at Klamath Falls Subaru, we are so passionate about getting you the long-lasting vehicle that you will love. When you come to our store, you'll find that every department is dedicated to caring for our customers, which is why I can proudly send anyone here knowing that they will be treated like family. Stop by and say hi. When you come to Klamath Falls Subaru, you're coming home.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. Saturday afternoon, soccer tournaments, we'd head over to Abbeys afterwards. And then when we got up into middle school, on our way home, we'd stop at Abbeys after basketball games. When I go home, I want to see 2 things when I drive through Winston. I want to see my Abbeys, and I want to see my high school. And those are the 2 memories that stick out the most to me.
As a parent of a high school athlete, I've given up trying to get pictures of my kid playing sports. It's nearly impossible to take pictures and enjoy the game. There is a solution, though. God's Gifts Photography attends high school sporting events in the Basin to take individual and team action photos at a great price. Search God's Gifts 2 on Facebook to learn more. They'll come and capture your athlete in action, creating those frameable lifelong memories so you can watch and just enjoy the moment. Call 541-281-2206 to get your athlete on their schedule. God's Gifts Photography.
Final score today from Kiger Stadium, and the Klamath Falls Falcons defeat the Phoenix Pirates 20-8. For the Falcons today, 20 runs on 20 hits. They commit 1 error and they leave 7 runners on base. The Phoenix Pirates scored their 8 runs on 8 hits. They committed 5 errors and they left 8 runners on base in the contest. Winning pitcher today for the Falcons is Carson Pimley, who pitched 4 innings in the middle of the contest, allowing 5 hits, 3 runs. They're all earned. He struck out 5, but picking up the win nonetheless. The loss goes to Phoenix's starter, Brody Allen, who pitched 3 innings, giving up 11 hits, 10 runs, and 8 of those earned. He walked 1 and struck out 1. Pacific Power play of the day today. So many great hits for the Falcons today, but for the sake of it being something that we haven't seen at all yet this summer, I'm going to have to give the Pacific Power play of the day to the first inning triple for Jacoby Takini, his first triple of the summer, and it was an RBI that helped the Falcons get going to what wound up being a 6-run first inning en route to the 20-8 victory. Other great performances for the Falcons, just going in order. Max Price finished 0 for 2 today, but had an RBI and scored 2 runs. Connor Shively was 3 for 5 with an RBI and 3 runs scored. Jacoby Takini finished 2 for 5 with 2 RBI. Colin Takini was 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. PJ Safford finished 2 for 3 with 2 RBI and 2 runs. Let's see. Ian Meyer was a tough out today. That's to say the very least. 3 for 4, 3 runs scored, 2 RBI. Corbin Hamilton was 2 for 3 with a couple of runs scored and a couple of runs batted in. Carson Sims was 3 for 3 with an RBI and 3 runs scored. Chase Barrett was 3 for 5 with 2 RBI and a run scored. Those are your notables for the Falcons. For Phoenix, Sam Schultz was 1 for 4. Brody Allen was 3 for 4 with 3 RBI. And Andy Alvarez was 1 for 3 with 3 RBI. This win for the Klamath Falls Falcons improves them to 27-6-1 on the summer. This loss for Phoenix pushes them to 5-6. Another game still yet to be played today at Kiger Stadium, although the Falcons' afternoon is done. The Henley D2 team is getting ready to play North Salem here at Kiger Stadium, so if you're looking for time to kill on a Sunday evening, come on out and join the Henley D2 team for a little action against North Salem. This is where our broadcast concludes, though, as the Falcons come away victorious. They will be back in action tomorrow. A single 9-inning game closes out the home schedule against Roseburg Dr. Randall's Crowns. Come on out. It's Fan Appreciation Night. It's also Sponsor Appreciation Night, so for any sponsors who've tuned into the broadcast, just know, come on out tomorrow night for the final home game of the season for the Klamath Falls Falcons against the Roseburg Dr. Randall's Crowns. I want to thank everybody involved with tonight's broadcast, or this afternoon's broadcast, rather. Both head coaches, Bill Hutchinson for Phoenix, Sean Teeters for the Klamath Falls Falcons. Our stadium announcer and official scorer, Mike Safford, for helping us out here with the scoring on the broadcast. Big thanks to you as well for joining us for another edition of Klamath Falls Falcons baseball. Whether it's been just today or all season long, thank you all the same. We are back in action tomorrow against Roseburg Dr. Randall's Crowns. The Falcons will look to make it 9 straight victories after picking up their 8th today to the tune of 20-8. Hope to see you out at the ballpark tomorrow night, but until then, my name is Josh Eldridge. Have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon, and so long from Kiger Stadium in Klamath Falls.